Again, I thank you for coming today. It seems to me from standing here that the loudest roar I have heard today is when I say that we are demanding that the English language be the common and official language that binds our very diverse nation together. With that thought, my friend K.C. McAlpin, who runs Pro-English.
Thank you, guys. I just want to tell you something you didn't read about in the New York Times or the Washington Post this week. Harvard University, you know, that hotbed of conservatism, Harvard University, they ran a poll of almost 3,000 American kids between the ages of 18 and 24. And one of the things that they asked them about in this poll, which was about politics, was, do you favor making English the official language of the United States? And guess what these young people said? 72% of them said yes! And that included majorities of Hispanic kids, and African American kids, and Asian kids. Now I want to stop right here, and I want to say thank you to the Washington Times, because that was the only newspaper in this city that had the guts to report the news. And they reported that story. Can you imagine what the New York Times would have said? Or the Washington Post would have said? And even if a small majority of those kids had said no, they were against official English, it would have been banner headlines. People, the media in this country is controlled by the enemy. You know, we know that. Thank God for talk radio. Now I'll tell you about a couple other polls that were run last year. On official English, there were two of them. One by Zogby and one by Rasmussen. Now the Zogby poll had only 84% of the American public in favor of official English. Imagine that. The Rasmussen poll said it was more. It was 85%. What is the matter? Why aren't the politicians, why aren't the people in Congress, why isn't this idiot, and we ought to impeach him in the White House? Why aren't they listening to the American people? They keep saying, Senator Kennedy says, we want a comprehensive bill. Senator Reid says, we want a comprehensive bill. And little George W. says, we want a comprehensive bill. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you're going to want a comprehensive bill, you got to worry about not just how many people you're going to admit to this country and how you're going to enforce the rules, but you're going to have to say what's going to happen to them and their future and to the people in this country and to this country after they're here. And we want the language of this country to be English, which it always has been for generations of immigrants.
It always will be.
It always will be. There's nothing wrong with Spanish and speaking Spanish as a second language. Nothing wrong with speaking French or speaking Chinese or another language is a great advantage. But if you're going to have a country, a united country, a country that's a diverse country, a proud country, we got to talk to each other. And we got to be able to talk to our neighbors. And that means we're going to stick to English. That's our language. Now we got to pass official English once and for all. Now, you know, these idiots back here that are making so much noise, these racists and bigots, and that's what they are over here, folks. They're the racists. They're the bigots. They're the ones that want to divide people by language, by skin color, by ethnicity and national origin, and pit them against each other. They're the ones that want to tear this country apart. You know, it's not us, it's them that are the bigots.
It ain't gonna happen, not on my watch.
It ain't gonna happen. You know, there are 53 countries in the world that have made English their official language already. 53 countries, and the United States is not one of them. And most of those countries are in Africa and Asia and the Caribbean, but you know what? When we get up in Congress and we propose a bill, you know, they say, I say, that's bigoted, that's racist. I say, wait a minute, it makes common sense. What is racist about speaking English? They do it in Trinidad, they do it in the Caribbean, they do it in the Southeast Asia, they do it in Hong Kong. It is a language, that's all it is. And we're going to stay united by language. And we're fed up. We're not going to have any more. We don't want election ballots in this country to be printed in any other language but English. And we want to stop the government-sponsored child abuse program that goes by the name of bilingual education. And we want our government to stop taxing Americans and English-speaking legal residents so they can provide interpreters and translators and translations for people who refuse to learn our language. That we are for assimilation, we are for the American dream, and we are for our country, the United States of America. God bless you for coming out this afternoon.